few weeks ago.
Jack Lee,
yeah. And we're trying to work it out so that we can get him back in here, but he was not able to make it tonight. And our other guest, apparently,
Joe
also,
Flores. Joe, if you're in hearing distance, you can still call in.
Yeah.
It's not too late. I tried to get a hold of him. Joe is also doing hospice care.
Oh, is he?
Joe Flores is an attorney. He does a television show, but he's a nurse practitioner, and he's been instrumental with Miss Linda Pugh.
Yeah.
They get that nonprofit going on. And guys, what they're trying to do is they're trying to help you guys out with medical. I had a lady get a hold of me from Columbia University up at New York, and she wanted to do a story. She asked me what topic to do, and I hooked her up with Joe, and Joe's going to get with Miss Pugh. And because I really think, if you think about it, out of all the things that are going on in TDCJ with advocacy work, nobody's doing anything with medical, and that's why the medical ladies were so important.
Well, it really is true. There are people trying to do stuff like the medical ladies, for instance, but it's hard to get TDCJ to turn around on that stuff.
But Karen's working now, and Linda's in Oklahoma. So Linda tries, and she writes to everybody that she can, but she's in Oklahoma.
Yeah, and it's an extra day or whatever for mail. Plus, it's not handy for her there.
So Joe Flores volunteered. He said he'd pick up the mantle.
That'll hurt.
And so that would
help.
Yeah, that'll help. That'll give an attorney to the crew. I have some mail. Billy Sims, I sent you one out earlier this morning. Larry Swearingen, I sent you one out earlier this morning. But today I've got Felipe Sanchez Jr., Daniel Crocker, and Chris Ramirez. So guys, I'll send you some JPays this week. And everybody else that I owe JPays to, I know I owe JPays. Man, at the Planet Fitness, I'm swamped this week. We're opening up our 17th club.
And he's trying to hire somebody and all this other mess.
I hired them all this money.
Oh, you got them. Okay,
I went through that. So,
good. That's a move in the right direction.
Yeah, well, at least maybe that'll slow me down a little bit.
Dave, let me ask you, you just mentioned that somebody called you from Columbia University.
Columbia University.
So I remember some of those weeks you say that BBC called you.
Yeah.
Then we have guests from the Netherlands, people coming from filming from Norway. So how many other people there are calling you for the prison show?
Georgina Forbes is going to be coming to the prison show. She contacted me and asked if she'd come. Well, heck yeah, come on.
Yeah, she's coming to town right quick here, isn't she?
Karen's coming back from the Netherlands. We got Warden Franz Dow. He came to my wedding all the way from the Netherlands.
I know, I was sitting close to him.
Yeah, they talk.
I mean, it really, Vice came to, there's just a lot of things that go on the Discovery Channel. VOA News, we've been on VOA News twice now.
Yeah.
The Discovery Channel as well.
The Discovery Channel came.
A number of people have done stories and little videos and,
Nina Hedrick, she made made a video. I just put it out on Facebook this week. It's called Rattle Them Bars.
Habéis oído lo importante que es este programa de Prison Show, que nos vienen a contactar de todas partes del mundo, los periódicos, las televisiones, desde Inglaterra a la BBC a la Universidad de Columbia University en Nueva York.
So yeah, I mean, the work that we do here, I mean, we do it because we care about you guys, but it gets a lot of attention, and that's what a lot of it needs. I mean, we got to get some.
A lot of that has to do with being on the air, like right at 37 years.
Yeah.
And Ray knows how to get a lot of publicity. And
March will have 38 years.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
We were talking about having an anniversary show, and we're going to do that, I think, in March.
Okay, that works. That works. I was thinking it was 36 and a half.
No, we're fixing to come up
1980.
Yep.
March 1980.
1980.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So March of 2018 will be 38 years.
Man.
That was my senior year in high school.
So how long have we been doing it now? 4?
Almost
Solid
5. Yeah.
Almost 5 now?
Yep. Yep, see, Mike's giving us the...
Mike's giving
high
it
five.
the 5, the high 5, yeah. Well...
Time flies, brother.
I got to tell you, it's a great pleasure to work with the best people at this station. I love everybody at this station, but this is the best group for any show, and I like all the shows.
But we're not without controversy.
No, we're not. Well, yeah, I know that's right. I know that's right.
Big family.
Every now and then you want to jump out there and
family.
handle some controversy, but I don't. We don't roll that way, and we don't want you to either. So.
Hey, what's going on in the news world?
Well, the Supreme Court took up a case out of Louisiana. They've certified it so that they're going to take the case and hear at least part of it, the way I understand it. They have gentlemen here in Texas, we got a couple, and or a few, and over in Louisiana, they've got a number of people who went to trial on death penalty cases, and in the wisdom of their attorneys, they should have taken plea deals, but didn't. And so when they went to trial, this particular case, in the opening statement, the lawyer stood up and pleaded, or not pled guilty, but admitted that, or said that the defendant was guilty. Now, that's never been factually proven one way or the other. He was eventually convicted and given the death sentence.
But the lawyer conceded that he was guilty.
The lawyer conceded that he was guilty, and in order to try and get him out of the death penalty part of it, the guy stood up in there and said, "No, I'm not pleading that." He had tried to, fire the guy 2 days earlier, and the court wouldn't allow it. Then he tried to say, "I would like to represent myself," and the court wouldn't allow it. And then the day when the attorney stood up in there and said that, he jumped up and said, "Whoa, I'm not pleading guilty," and tried to tell him, this was an act committed by police that were running a drug ring over there in Louisiana. Well, without giving out all the particulars of the case and everything, the point is that what happens to a defendant's rights if the attorney can override the wishes of the defendant and enter, or not officially enter a plea, but say in court, my client is guilty?
So basically the question is whether it's unconstitutional for a defense counsel to concede a defendant's guilt over his express
wishes, right?
I mean, that seems like a no-brainer.
If that's your attorney, he's supposed to be doing your side,
right,
not helping the other side. You fight as hard as you can, and if you lose it, you lose it. That's one thing. But to have him stand up in there and say, my client is guilty, is a whole nother thing. There's something just patently wrong about that.
So the case is McCoy versus Louisiana.
Yeah, McCoy versus Louisiana. But we recognize that here in Texas, there are some cases very similar to that under the same sort of circumstances.
We're a brother-in-law state, so.
And yeah.
Sometimes the judge
family jumps
does
the
what he
fence
wants
and you
to
don't
anyway.
know it that night,
Sometimes the judge does what he wants and it can come out in your favor, though.
O sea, ¿habéis entendido qué es lo que ha pasado? Ha pasado que un abogado ha dicho delante del juez que la persona que defendía era culpable y que la única cosa que estaba haciendo era intentar salvarle la vida. O sea, era un caso de death penalty. Entonces el abogado ha llegado a salvarle, a que no le quiten la vida, que no le den death penalty. Pero a cierto momento, delante del juez ha dicho, pero aún así es culpable. Bueno, pues ahora mismo está habiendo un caso que se llama McCoy versus Louisiana, en el que nos preguntamos qué pasa si el abogado dice, mi cliente es culpable. Cuando el cliente dice, no, absolutamente, yo no soy culpable.
Well, knowing that there are a number of these cases here, and then a better number in Louisiana, the way I understand it from what I was able to read about it, but the Supreme Court is going to have to sit down and weigh in on this, and I don't see how they can come out against defendants in advance of the trial, in advance of the witnesses getting on the stand, in advance of the evidence being heard by the court. I don't see how that's a acceptable thing in any way. If I go into court and I get in that court battle, it's one thing if I lose it, but it's another thing entirely for him to say, well, he's guilty right up front, when I said, don't say it.
Hank, do you know now who's defending that person?
I don't know who the attorneys are at the Supreme Court.
Hopefully
And
they
they may not have been determined yet. I don't know that part, and it wasn't in the article. So, but it has far-reaching consequences. It doesn't have to be death penalty cases. It could be any any kind of case where you have a jury trial or a court trial. So it's the kind of thing that's got to finally be settled and cut out once and for all.
I think I'd rather want to know who the attorney was that tried to make him plead guilty.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, that actually the name of that guy's there, but
Yeah, but we'll give that one to Michelle Leal.
there we go.
Yeah,
that'll
Mia
work.
Justice needs that one.
That'll work. Yeah, that's a good idea.
You know who she is, right?
So we've got that. We've got some other stuff here. Matter of fact,
Well,
I was gonna pull the page up, but
I was amazed at some of the things that were going on in the Latino community with the news. I don't think I'm taking up your time, am I?
No,
There are like
adelante.
thousands of immigrants that are being arrested in sanctuary cities.
Adelante,
Yeah.
sí, especially in California.
Yeah, especially in California.
So the federal government is intentionally going to where the local community says we're a sanctuary city. The majority of people
And the
agree.
feds say, no, you're not. There's
And the
no
feds
such
say
thing as
no
a sanctuary
because
city.
it's a policy issue with the feds. Never mind that, we under the Obama years, every single year deported record numbers of people, and we've gone from where there were over 13 million illegal immigrants I'm going to say illegal immigrants because that's the words people understand. Undocumented, yes.
Eso es lo que está
So-
pasando, que en California, ha salido en todos los periódicos, el jueves han arrestado a varias centenares de personas, digamos unas 500 personas de inmigrantes sin documentos, sin papeles. Y esto en las zonas que vagamente podemos indicar como sanctuary cities, ciudades santuarios. 167 de esos, 167, they were in these places where you call sanctuary cities. En San Francisco, en LA, en San José. And the problem is exactly this one, that they act in places where the communities themselves, they define themselves as sanctuary cities. O sea que el problema está en el pulso que está haciendo el gobierno y esta administración estadounidense para demostrar que los federales, ICE, es más fuerte que los locales. So ICE is stronger than the local
In addition to the
communities.
167 people, it says overall across the country they've arrested over 500 people.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
sí, exactamente.
Yeah.
That's
The-
what I
the
say,
thing is
500 personas.
Republicans
Sorry, I
had
don't speak Spanish.
Republicans had 8
Why I'm
years
here.
under Obama to gear up for all this. And now that they're in control, they're coming back hard at it. Well, meanwhile, all the Obama years, the problem was dwindling and going away. Less people were coming across the border. Record numbers were being deported. We went from over 13 million undocumented people in the country to just over 11 million now. So 2 million less, a huge number less. And now they think they pretend as if the problem is actually growing when it's actually quite the opposite of what's really happening. So now they're going after, these are the people that want states' rights for everything. But now, all these major cities and smaller cities too that want to be safety zones for people, for undocumented, because we don't want to mistreat people. They're going after them with a passion. And it's A, it's poor policy, B, it's poor treatment of human beings, and C, it disregards all the voters in all those areas, what they really want locally.
So I'd like to add that the goal in here, in order to help our brothers in the community that they have no documents, is not really to save their life, to be savers for them. It is to try to remove the obstacles that are in the society to allow them to live as we live.
Right.
So we don't have to look at ourselves if we are not immigrants undocumented to save their lives. It's just we need to remove the obstacles. That's the goal. And to get to this goal, we need to understand what is the politics and the history. That's why it's not enough to vote Democrat, for instance, but you have to really understand which of those, the ones probably that are more to the left, because most of them, like...
Well,
Most
you've
of
got some
them are corporate
Democrats that might as well
Democrats
be
like Hillary.
Republicans.
Yeah. Yeah, most of them are very similar to Republicans.
You have to look at the
party
independents.
differences are thin, paper thin now.
It sure is.
Yeah. Yep. We're going to have to find something new to do with our votes, I guess.
Sí, así que lo voy a subrayar también en español. El objetivo para ayudaros a vosotros inmigrantes indocumentados, el objetivo no es salvaros la vida. El objetivo no es quitaros de las situaciones imposibles y salvaros. No, no, no. El objetivo es tener una sociedad que no os ponga obstáculos y que vosotros os podáis comportar en esta ciudad como todos los otros y que tengáis los mismos derechos que los demás.
And it comes right on the heels of him countermanding the Obama executive order about DACA. So there's another 800,000 people that are immediately affected by the policies of this administration. They have some time. It was 6 months at that time, so it's probably about five and a half months now. that Congress has to work on a solution for these things. And we know that with a Republican-led Congress, the solution is not going to be pretty for people on these issues. You know, I don't say they're doing everything wrong on every front, but they are definitely not people-friendly on this front.
Our break song tonight's old school. You got it up there? Nate Dogg, One More Day.
Yeah.
That'll be our break song tonight. It was Murder Was the Case soundtrack. On another note, Jennifer Urshabeck, she's always putting out, thank you, Jennifer, about the visitation restrictions. This week it's due to a confirmed illness. Due to confirmed illnesses at the following facilities, these assigned to the listed housing areas are temporarily restricted from receiving visitors this weekend. September 30th, 2017 and October 1st. Lopez Unit, H4, Z3, and Z5. The Gurney Unit, B6 and B7.
A couple of those have already been sick, and this is 3 weeks in a row with
They're just spreading
illnesses.
it around.
Yeah, all this moving people's probably.
You guys just remember to always wash your hands. Just wash your hands as much as you can.
Wash your hands. Yeah.
I don't care where you find that piece of soap at. Every time it's brand new, all you gotta do is rinse it off.
Yep.
Just wash every time you think about it. So as always, you guys, family members, please call ahead. Make sure that everything's cool whenever you go to visit, so you don't drive all that way and then get disappointed. And if you're sick, stop and think about your loved ones, because that's a lot of times that's what happens. The guards or the family members take it in. Mm-hmm. Your loved ones are living in a closed environment, so any kind of outside virus or bacteria just spreads like wildfire.
Yeah, if you or your child is sick and you plan on going, either find a sitter for the child and you wash up and clean yourself off before you go. But you may have been exposed too, so it's a real judgment call on that. You need to judge to the side of safety for the inmates.
I think this is a very basic and important information, así que déjame traducirla. Cuando hay un momento en el que se está difundiendo ahora una gripe, y es mejor que cuando vayáis a visitar a vuestros amigos o familiares, que os lavéis bien las manos, que intentar no introducir microbios en las cárceles donde la gente vive aislada, así que en cuanto hay un contacto y hay microbios se derrama por todas las partes y el contagio puede ser alto, así que si tenéis niños que están enfermos o que tienen gripe o mocos, dejarlos en casa e ir solos bien lavándose las manos.
Okay, meanwhile, on the Fifth Circuit front, Trump has appointed 2 conservatives to the Fifth Circuit, so that's not going to bode well for people that are coming up for appeals and things as soon as they get seated. That's the further right the court gets, the further wrong the
Trump just keeps doing it.
Dealings with. Yeah. It's, you know, I don't disagree with everything the man says or does, but these things where it impacts people's lives so heavily, he's got to really start thinking about health care, immigration, courts, DACA, which that's related to an immigration issue technically. Those people were brought here and couldn't help it, as children. So that's patently unfair to mistreat them because they were kids and couldn't help it.
You understand DACA?
The Fair Action for Childhood Arrivals.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to forget about DAPA, which is
that's true too.
the Fair Action for Parents of Americans.
For the kids that were born.
Yes.
Yes.
So the kids, they could see their parents being deported.
Everybody wants to say anchor babies. Look,
yeah.
People didn't come here intentionally to have a child, intentionally to stay. That may be a few cases, but you're talking about a lot of people. Most people are just good-hearted folks, want to come here and get a job, live, have a car, get some groceries, just like you and me. That's the truth about most everybody in the country.
They were coming here to work,
make a living and improve their lives,
and then
take
you
care of
have
their families.
somebody like 250 people that come to volunteering here.
Yeah.
And they do a little bit more than the basics.
Yeah, and the DACA people, you can't even apply for DACA if you've got a crime on your books or anything like that. You have to be a productive member of society and have a clean record.
Well, I would like to shout out and call for those listeners that they had problems with the documentation, with prison, with DACA, with DAPA, because they had the experience and transformed themselves in volunteers because they are insiders and they can help all of the other institutions that they are very well organized because they have lawyers and economists and all of those professionals that they never really leave on their skin the problems that all of you got. So it's very, very important.
Yep.
I'm looking down the page here to see if we got
See if we got any more.
If there's any other hot topic.
That Governor Abbott appointed, what's his name, Brian Long?
Yeah.
He's from Kilgore to the State Pardons and Parole Board.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Brian Long, but I have my suspicions.
Open it up and read it. It sounded to me like he was just an ordinary
Bueno, mientras
Ordinary Joe, believe it or not.
while Hank is reading there in his subconscious part of his brain, and dejarme decir
Does Hank have a subconscious part of his
Yes,
brain?
I do, and most of my
And then it's
thinking
very
goes on
large.
in there. Yeah, that's the unconscious part you're thinking of.
Yeah, I was surprised whenever I read it because most of the time Governor Abbott appoints someone who's a lawman or an attorney or something like that, and I don't read where he's.
Well, this is a Longview regular guy, which isn't quite the same as a Houston regular guy or a San Antonio regular guy.
Have you ever been
or-
to Longview?
Yeah, yeah,
That kind of country, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's East Texas.
yeah. Oh yeah,
guys,
all my folks are up in East Texas, mostly southeast, but I got a few that range further north.
Allow me to go a little bit deeper con la comunidad latina sobre este tema. Lo que estaba diciendo en inglés antes era que si habéis tenido problemas, habéis estado en la cárcel, deportados, tenéis hijos o maridos o hijas o mujeres que han tenido problemas, intentar hacer algo más de lo que es la parte básica de la vida, venir y ser voluntarios, no necesariamente aquí en KPFT en Houston, sino en muchas de las otras entidades que intentan ayudar a gente que ha pasado por donde estáis vosotros, porque sois vosotros los que habéis estado dentro y lo que sabéis cuáles son los problemas, no son los abogados o los profesores que lo han vivido sobre su piel. Y hay algunas asociaciones, como por ejemplo Grassroots Leadership, que os ayudan. Hay muchísimas otras. Os digo solo una, Grassroots Leadership.
And he comes with a criminal justice degree from UT Tyler.
It says here he's actually a hearing officer at the current. Is what he was.
Oh, he was a hearing officer.
He was a
Now
hearing
he's moved to the
officer,
board. Okay.
but he became a hearing officer, and he came from the Kilgore Boys Baseball Association, Moberly Baptist Church. And then he's got that applied science criminal justice degree.
Bachelor's at UT Tyler, and criminal justice courses and stuff are generally for people that are going into law enforcement or going into law to,
Right.
eventually be DAs.
So he
or-
became a hearing officer.
Yeah. And Abbott also reappointed Jim LaFavors.
So there you go, guys. That's our news for tonight. Now we're going to bring the death row team in a little bit early. They've got a few extra minutes. Mike's in there waving around.
Yeah, he's giving us the big
For
finger.
those of you that haven't been following lately, we have been making a
Studio.
Well, there's a microphone. He should be able to hear us as long as
Yeah,
we're in this
yeah,
room.
he might
Whenever
turn
the
out.
callers get in, it'll be a little bit different.
Fellas, we wanted to wish Miss Linda a happy birthday, so I think
Yes,
we're gonna.
we do.
I think, and we right off the bat, we want to thank Milton Gobert for sending a card. He is apparently a good listener to the station because he sent a card to Shannon McCurchie here, who's our ace deuce around here.
Yes.
And she went around, got a bunch of people at the station to sign. Then she told me about it this morning, and then she got it to me this evening, and we all signed it and everything. So now I think we'd like to sing happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you.
Happy
birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Miss Linda. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Thank you, guys. I stopped having birthdays, so I'm getting too old.
Well, she's 37. I'm going to tell her. All right, now you all know. You know as much as I do anyway. Put it like that.
Thank you.
I think you share a birthday with someone, don't you?
I share a birthday with William Spear, and he's one of the guys
Oh.
that I visit, so it's his birthday today.
And I think he's got a call waiting.
Yes, he does.
Happy birthday, Will. Okay, moving along to Death Row News. As of today, the execution schedule still stands. Robert Pruitt, scheduled for October the 12th. Anthony Shore, October the 18th. Clinton Young, October the 26th. Ruben Cardenas, November the 8th. Larry Swearingen, November the 16th. Juan Castillo, December the 14th. William Rayford, January. All your petitions were
Got it.
distributed for conference at the Supreme Court on September the 25th, along with Stephen Long. Those have not been, the decisions have not been published.
Correct.
Right. Rob Will, U.S. District Judge Keith Ellison finds your 2015 petition to be a second or successive petition. Therefore, it transfers it to the Fifth Circuit. Hannibal Canales, U.S. District Judge Rodney Gilstrap denied your habeas corpus on September the 27th. Randy Halprin, U.S. District Judge Sam Lindsay denied your habeas corpus on September 27th. And again, if anybody would like any of these rulings, feel free to let us know. I'll be more than happy to get those for you. And there is a paper written, I'm pretty sure this has been brought up before, but Professor Metz with the Texas Tech University School of Law has put out a 38-page paper dissecting the American Bar Association's September 2013 report titled Evaluating Fairness and Accuracy in the State Death Penalty Systems, the Texas Capital Punishment Assessment Report. The report itself identifies 12 inadequacies in the Texas capital punishment system, recommended changes, and it evaluated compliance. As I stated, Professor Metz has dissected this, and if anyone would like a copy of it, let me know, or let us know here at the station. We will be more than happy to get some copies for you. It's a very interesting read. The original American Bar Association September 2013 report is a little extensive, but I'll be more than happy to get you the Professor Metz dissection of that report.
Yes, anybody can ask me when I'm at the prison. I'm there a lot. Send a message with one of the guys and tell me what you need and we'll get it to you. And now we have some birthdays. Today is William Spears' birthday, and then we start October. Paul Story is October the 1st. Kasul Chantha Kuman, I don't know if I said that right.
I'm sure he'll forgive you.
His birthday is also October the 1st. Patrick Murphy, October the 3rd. Billy Kretzinger, October the 5th. Linda Carty, October the 5th. Gilmore Guerrera, October the 5th. Arthur Williams, October the 5th. Daniel Acker, October 9th. Chung Tong, October 21st. Victor Saldano, October 22nd. Mark Gonzalez, October 23rd. Joe Luna, October 26th. Bobby Moore, October 29th. James Broadnax, October 30th. Britt Ripkowski, October 31st. And Charles Flores, October 31st. These guys are at the Polunsky Unit, 3872, FM 350 South, Livingston, Texas, 77351. Now, Paul's Story is in Fort Worth at the Tarrant County Jail, and I don't have that address with me, but it is, let me see if we can look it up real quick. It's like 100 South Lamar or something like that.
I don't think they can receive cards.
Oh, that's right. They can't receive cards, so you can only send them a letter. And they cannot receive hardback books either. They can only receive paperback books.
I know some people buy a card and they just make a copy of it so they can
Send it in, yes.
Why is that, Lena? Why you can't receive cards?
A lot of the county jails.
The county jails, I don't know. Harris County won't allow it either.
But is there any reason?
Well, I don't know what their specific reasons are, but I know that you can kill a man with a rolled up newspaper. So.
Well.
And
but they can get newspapers.
And they're worried about drugs and things, coming in. Like people, in the old days, people used to figure out all kinds of crap, and I'm sure they still do. But like paper thin, split the card open, lace it with something, or lay something in there, and then seal it back up, iron it flat, all that crap.
Right.
So, where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right. And just one guy does something wrong, and
it's a policy.
Yeah, and then everybody gets punished.
Yeah. That's how people go on lockdown most of the time.
And Polunsky's on lockdown right now too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're on
Okay.
lockdown, yes.
Okay.
And the
Go to the
guys are
site today.
hungry.
Yeah, the guys are hungry. So if you visit, make sure you bring some money for food.
Okay, so Tarrant County Jail, inmate's full name and CID number, care of Tarrant County Jail, 100 North Lamar, Fort Worth, Texas, 76196.
And Paul Story's number is 0694852.
One more time, Hank.
Inmate, full name, in this case Paul Story, and his number, again,
Which is 0694852.
and then care of Tarrant County Jail, 100 North Lamar, Fort Worth, Texas, 76196.
That's all.
That's teamwork.
Yeah, and I want to thank the Facebook group Soul Sisters for putting the birthdays out.
Oh,
Yes. Kareen from Israel, she does that every month, and I think that's wonderful because that's where we get our list from.
yeah. Do they do pen pals?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Okay, so that's one of our resources that we can start telling people because, you know, technically, guys, we don't do pen pal. We get a lot of letters, and you know, everybody gets them at home, and everybody gets them up here, and it's a lot of letters. So we try and make sure we take care of the informational stuff, especially. But you know, if the ladies are kind enough and write you back now and then, you know, that's one thing. But please, let's take it easy on us. And there are places like Soul Sisters that will.
So
Do pen pals
how
if
do
you really
find
wanna have a pen pal.
Soul Sisters? How do you find them?
It's on Facebook, Soul Sisters
Oh, that's right.
Unlocking Cell
Doors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull that up here in a minute.
Yeah.
I know everything in the world. It just takes me a minute to find it in my large brain.
You're very large,
My
Brian.
500 gigabyte brain over here.
Switch off the internet. Bueno, no, esto era importante porque recibimos algunas cartas de vosotros en las que nos preguntáis si podéis escribir a alguna señorita, si podéis comunicaros con ellas, si encontramos a alguien para que os escriba. Bueno, pues en este caso nos estaban diciendo los colegas que tenemos aquí que podéis visitar la página Facebook de Soul Sisters y ahora vamos a ver si os podemos dar más informaciones. So, Linda, say again, is Soul Sisters Unlocking
Cell doors.
Cell Doors. Soul Sisters Unlocking Cell Doors. O sea,
That's exactly what it is on Facebook, but I don't see the address here. And I haven't joined the group, so I don't know if I can...
o sea que son hermanas del ánima abriendo las puertas de las celdas. Soul Sisters Unlocking Cell Doors. Muy bien. Bueno, pues si necesitáis algo y queréis escribirlas, ahí está. Visitar a Facebook, Soul Sisters Unlocking Cell Doors.
Well, I'm not able to access the information on it, so...
I will get that address for y'all and maybe come back in a few minutes and do a shout out.
Sí.
Yeah.
And also try to see if there is something also for the Latino community. Because we received some letters that they ask us to find Soul Sisters.
Oh,
to
okay.
write us
Yeah, I've
pen
had to
pals.
answer one like that before myself, but I don't remember where I got the info. It wasn't on Facebook.
There is
though.
a very good website, Right of Prisoner. And I think they have a Spanish speaking.
Okay, that would be wonderful. You can find it, then I shut it out. And
Okay.
y os lo digo a vosotros, ahora dentro de algunos minutos, tomar lápiz, bolígrafo y os escribís la dirección que os daré dentro de unos minutos. Okay.
Okay. Right.
Bueno, pues now I think that I would like to go a little bit further in the subject that I was talking about a few minutes ago. That is how to help your neighbors or the workers that you have if you are an employer and they are undocumented. And if you know somebody that you care about, you can do something. You can help these people that they had the Fair Action for Childhood Arrivals, the DACA. And now, as you know, they are in a limbo and they don't know what's going to happen to them. So if you know them, you can do some very easy things. If you really believe that they deserve to remain here and you have done and you have thought about it and you want to do something, well, if you have decided, so take side. You have already taking side if you decide. And this is already important. When you take side, you can also talk to the others about your choice. Talk with your neighbor, talk with your brother, talk with your son or your mother. This is the first thing that you can do. The second thing is to learn politics and history. So try to learn who in your local politics is against DACA. Try to understand them. Try to understand who is neutral or who is pro maintaining these youngsters in this place. And also, what you should do in order to understand history, not really history, but the present that is going to make history, is to go and know your neighbors, the ones that they live on the other side of the border of your neighborhood, and they have a different color of the skin. You go there, you know them, you invite them to your house to have a drink, to have a coffee, and try to know them. If you know people, then you're not scary about them. And the way to understand a little bit more history is also reading. So I'm going to suggest you a couple of books that they talk about the immigration. And I'm going to tell you 3 titles. One is They Take Our Jobs, another 20 myths. Another one is Illegal People. And the third one is Border Patrol Nation. So you read these ones, you're going to know way more than you thought before. And it takes so little, just an afternoon. You read some chapters, you don't even have to read all of them. You need the preface, and you know already way more information than before. And you can take actions based on those information. So be informed. So that was about history, reading these books. The books, they take several months to come out and be printed. So when they're written, they're already old. Nowadays, we have the luxury to have the website that they're updated every day. So if you don't want to read books, you can go to the websites, and I'm going to give you 2 of them, and there are tens. So one is immigrationimpact.com, immigrationimpact.com, altogether, Immigration Impact. And then you may look also at another site, which is more informative about laws, and this is the website of the National Immigration Law Center. And the website is easy because it's the acronym of the National Immigration Law Center. It is NILC.org, NILC.org. And if you are one of those that you want to be super quick, well, you just go to Twitter, and then you read a couple of sentences and probably a couple of links. So one of those is Twitter at This Is Jorge. And it's Jorge Rivas, which is a journalist that is writing about immigration. I tell you again, is at This Is Jorge. And Jorge, you write it with Jorge. Another one, which writes often for the most important newspapers in the nation, is his Twitter account is Jonathan Blitzer. Jonathan, Jonathan, Blitzer, Blitzer. Jonathan Blitzer. Another thing that you can do if you don't have time but you have money is to donate. You can donate, and you can donate to some of these associations that they work so heavily and with a lot of volunteers, and they need some money to survive and to do their actions. As I said before, Grassroots Leadership is one of those, which is based in Austin. And then you have Mi Gente, or Puente, which means bridge, Puente. And another one is Baji, B-A-J-I, B-A-J-I, Baji. All of them are immigrant led. So there are some immigrants that they lead these associations. Again, the vote is very important. So if you have the luxury to vote in this state, in this country, and you want to help your neighbors and your brothers, so be informed on which are the candidates that they represent your thoughts after you read and you are informed. Finally, you protest. If you really take side and you now know about politics and you vote and you know about history because you read and you are informed because you go to Twitter and the website. Now, if you are really passionate about this, you show yourself, your body, you go out in the streets and you protest, you make noise. And this is something that you can help yourself going to this website where others, they organize the protests for you. And this website is weareheretostay. weareheretostay.org. Finally, a very simple thing, if you have the skills and if you feel it, is to write a good letter to your senator. Even if you don't have those skills, you may ask for some help or write something very simple, very basic. It's going to be as impactful as a letter of a lawyer, even more. So write to your senator.
Letters actually count more than most other types because they know that a citizen had to sit down, take the time, put pen in hand, put it to paper, and think up what they were going to write and do the personal touch on
It's
it.
not just a click
More than phone
or-
call,
yeah,
more than fax, more than email,
more than a post.
often
or
more
like-
than petitions.
I see.
Yeah, letters are just about the number one thing you can do.
Pues bueno, con esto os quería decir otra cosa también. Esto lo dije la semana pasada en español, así que no os lo voy a traducir otra vez. Pero era importante porque tenemos que comunicar con los que son de aquí, los que saben cómo moverse, los que pueden ayudarnos a hacer algo y los que quieren que nos quedemos aquí para que seamos una sociedad mejor, más rica, con más capacidades. Y entonces leía un par de cosas que os voy a dejar con estas. Una es que hace unos meses la Comisión Nacional de los Derechos Humanos de México presentó el libro de la periodista Salud Ochoa Sánchez. El título del libro es Flores de un paraíso perdido. La obra relata crudas historias de mujeres migrantes, donde los personajes nos hacen sentir su miedo, su angustia, con hechos como reconocer que la mayoría tuvo relaciones sexuales a cambio de transporte, o de alimentación, o de protección, o de dinero. A pesar de ello, nada detiene a las mujeres migrantes para ir en busca de sus sueños y de una vida mejor, sobre todo para sus hijos. Con esto os dejo. That was a book that came out in Mexico, Flowers from a Lost Paradise, and the writer is Salud Ochoa Sánchez. It talks about the immigrant, the women, that whatever we try to do to stop them, they are gonna overcome that. And if they want to come for a better life for themselves and for their kids, they're gonna do it.
Well, and you know, this is the same administration that talks about bringing in more people for the higher paying jobs, which works against the average American, as opposed to the jobs that immigrants tend to take, the jobs that Americans don't want. And they fulfill a huge need in this country at many levels, whether it's in the fields, whether it's in fast foods, whether, you know, no matter what, house cleaning, child care, all the things that Americans just really, by and large, don't want to do anymore. You know, they've, like in Georgia, they've had the experience, in California, they've had the experience of you run off all the immigrant labor and your fields don't get picked. And they've had entire fields of tomatoes and strawberries and things go unpicked and rot in the field. And I'm sure the farmers weren't any too happy about that. So
We know that. Yep.
they fulfill a huge need, and poor people, whether it's undocumented or documented, spend all their money, all of it. They spend all of it just living. So all that money goes directly back into the economy. It's not like they're hoarding it. Now, I understand that some money gets sent home to Mexico, but it's not fortunes. It's small scraps. It's scraps of money. It's our table scraps of money. You know, it's no way to do people. Right off the bat, it's no way to do people. If you wouldn't do your kids that way, why would you do somebody else's?
No habéis oído lo que ha dicho Hank. Así que aquí tenéis unos socios, unos compinches que os ayudan y que si lo necesitáis, aquí estamos para daros información, a poneros en contacto con las personas que necesitéis. Escribirnos al 419 Lovett Boulevard.
I didn't say pinche.
Compinche.
Oh.
A partner.
Oh, well. You know how we do it around here.
Sí, 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 sí. Ah, ya lo sé que me tomáis el pelo con este acento español, con las palabras que hablo. Yeah, yeah. I should go a little bit more often to Mexico.
Well, you know, we have a
impregnated with that accent.
well, it's turned out to be such a great team here. Jack, you know, actually, this is his first night handling the camera. Just handling it. He's independent and running, so it's working out good. And we are ready for the break song, I believe. I don't even know what time it is exactly.
Yeah, it's time for the break song.
It's that time.
Yes, got it.
Love Miss Kiss back. I think they're throwing me out there. The woman is taking over. She's a producer tonight.
Can you tell me the basics just so that I translate into Spanish? So where did it have to go?
Yep. Yeah, I opened it up and started watching it on the side, looking over, checking how it's going. After we got the sideways thing done, it was all good from there. You know, there's no pivot on that screen. Yeah. But the way it shows out, yeah. The way it sends it out. Now it's on you.
Huh?
Now you're showing you.
Yeah, you had you had your.
I'm gonna say these things that the guys they are waiting for this info. And then
Okay.
was told by Will that we look like sisters.
Remember after the cards, KPFT Houston.
Electro Love 2017 is back. Even Hurricane Harvey can't keep KPFT down for long. This KPFT benefit show is scheduled for Saturday, October 14th at Last Concert Cafe. Gates are at 6 p.m. and music begins at 6:30. Stay the night to dance, twirl, hula hoop, just get funky with KPFT. Your premium blend, Junk in the Funk, Mojo Modular Johnson, part of the complete breakfast and Showstoppers pot roast. All this fine entertainment is to benefit KPFT, so come on out to Last Concert Cafe at 1403 Nance in Houston and enjoy the funk on Saturday, October 14th at 6 p.m. for Electro Love 2017. KPFT, Houston.
KPFT Houston has a fund drive coming up soon, and we need your help to make it a success. Each fund drive, volunteers answer phones and take the vital pledges from listeners that fund KPFT operations throughout the year. Volunteer efforts make a difference, and together we'll make this drive fun and successful. We are utilizing a new system for pledge taking, so both new and seasoned phone volunteers are asked to sign up for training. Just call the membership department at 713-526-4000, extension 314, to schedule your training date and time. After your training, visit kpft.org and click the Sign Up Genius link to sign up for your phone volunteership. If you are part of an organization
Get ready to come back.
3 or more volunteers for a pledge drive phone shift, we'll thank your organization on air during the shift.
So again, I'm going to tell this address, and then
You're listening to KPFT Houston.
KPFT Houston, KPFT Houston. A ver, escribir la dirección, os voy a dar la dirección para que escribáis a las señoritas y después que os contesten ellas. A ver, Soul Sisters Unlocking Cell Doors, no creo que tengáis que escribir todo esto, pero os voy a dar la dirección. Es un P.O. Box 4253. 4253. Y el pueblo se llama Mesa. Esto es fácil, Mesa. Está en Arizona y el zip code es 85211. Le voy a repetir. El Soul Sisters Unlocking Cell Doors. P.O. Box 4253. El pueblo es Mesa, M-E-S-A. En Arizona 85211. Okay, I'll leave you now with our other colleagues in here, and if you want to repeat the address, is again for the no Spanish community that they like to write as well, is Soul Sisters Unlocking Cell Doors. If you want to write to some of these ladies that are gonna write you back, is P.O. Box 4253 in Mesa, M-E-S-A, Arizona 85211. Again, P.O. Box 4253 in Mesa, Arizona 85211.
Great, thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to start the shout-outs. Now we have Billy from England. You're on the air.
What's happening? Right, this is a huge happy birthday out to Big Will. What's happening? Big dog. Woof woof. Hope that everything's going good. Well, this week's been a pretty eventful week. Went down to the airport at Gatwick, met Star, got all of the shaving stuff, went for coffee, sat to eat, had a real good day. So that was all cool. The Conqueror's gone down on my head. The letters have been flowing in good. I've been bombarding you with some good JPay mail. Well, oh yeah, look out for the Apex on Wednesday. That will be flying over. So you'll have to look out for that one. Mum's doing good. Everything sorted itself out with the work and whatnot, but she decided not to go back, so she's looking for another job at the minute, so that's all good. The internet and everything is still flying really well. The other day we had some kind of like a cut in the drawer where I looked half a dozen times. So yeah, a little bit annoyed about that. So once again, happy birthday. Hope that you're really, really well, kicking back, eating some, whatever you're eating, honey buns and moon pies, cheese, sausages, and all that kind of good stuff right there. Next week, I'm going to try to call in, but I don't really have that much Skype credit. So if I get on, I get on. If not, don't worry about it. But what I'll do, I'll let Linda know at some point during the week. So everything's running cool. So this was just a huge birthday shout out, and also want to say a birthday shout out to Linda as well. That's all good.
Thank
Will,
you.
love you like 9,000, mate. Keep it tuned, keep your head up, eat more good food, de-steam your glasses, and carry on with it, yeah? Because guess what? Next time I come over, I'm going to have to bring you some Just for Men. If you haven't know what that is, men's hair dye. Because now you're over the age of 40, you're going to get you some grays, boy. All right, mate. I love you lot, and I'll speak to you next time. Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Goodbye, Billy.
Bye, Billy.
All right, adios.
Joanne from San Antonio, you are on the air.
Hello, this is to Joseph Christopher. Just want to tell you I made it home safe and just in time for work. I almost didn't show up though. There was a bad plane in Columbus, Texas, and I wanted to stay and watch. But duty called, so I had to come to work. I enjoyed our visit like always. Saturday we'll be here before we know it, so I can see you again. I will be doing my studies as soon as I hang up. So Brett is trying to call in, but if he doesn't get through, then I know he sends his big bro hugs and kisses to you from Australia. Good night. I love you and I miss you as always. And it's me and you against the world. Good night. I love you.
Good night, Joanne.
Thanks,
Good night,
guys.
Joanne.
Bye, Danny.
Bye.
Okay, Judy from Florida, you're on the air.
Good evening. Happy date night, Rodney Reed. Hey, how did I do? No delay. I must know who I am showing out to tonight. I'm sure I will hear about that on Monday. Oh, I have to give you something to laugh about this weekend. I passed along all your messages to your boys and grandkids. I also talked to your mom tonight and told her that I'll be there tomorrow. She was excited that I'm going to be able to make it. I'll make sure to take lots of pictures, and I'll tell you all about it on Monday. Shelly isn't going to be able to make it. She has to work tomorrow. But I promise to be safe, and I will head back not too late. I'll be there by 10:30 on Monday, so please don't worry too much. Notice I said too much, because I know there is no way you won't worry at least a little bit. I absolutely have loved the last 2 days. Can't wait for the remaining 2. Definitely send a JPay on Sunday. How are you feeling? Hopefully you're not feeling too full. Did you hear me yell to you when you were walking back? I hurried up outside because I saw them taking you right away. And I yelled, but I'm not sure if you heard me. I yelled pretty loud. And then I thought, ooh, I might not be able to do that. I didn't want to get you in trouble. But I was like, ooh, I did it before I even thought about it. So hopefully all is well there. I found the Oasis for Sunday night, so I'll try and get through. And I'm so sure you're surprised I remember. Anyway, I love you, Rodney Reed, and I'm sending you hugs and kisses. I miss you so much, even though it's just for you. Stay strong, keep safe, continue to hope the dreamer dreams are alive and well. Thinking and praying for you. 560 and 66. Good night. Sweet dreams. Love you. Are you ready for it? Are you sure? Here it comes. Mwah. 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 Guys, have a great weekend.
You too.
See you on Monday. Love you. Bye.
Juana from Angleton, you are on the air.
Hi, this is for my husband out at the Polanski unit. Just want to tell you that I'm doing okay. I'm actually at work right now, so I can't talk too long. Just checking in with you, make sure you're doing good. I did get your letter saying you're already on lockdown. And so, it's just a little bit longer. But the last letter I got, I must caught up to the 20th. So I didn't get nothing today, but hopefully I'll get something tomorrow. I did send you some money, so hopefully you got all that for your commissary and all. But I said I'm at work right now, so I can't talk too long. weekend, and I love you, and I miss you, and I'll call you next weekend. Bye. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Okay, now we've got Hank from Wisconsin. You're on the air. Hank. Hey, Hank.
Oh, well, you're on the air.
Okay.
Hi, Michal. This is Karen. Just calling to say hi and let you know that we're all doing well. Frank is doing well. He had that procedure done. However, it didn't really work, so he'll be going back to Houston to get it done after the 15th. So other than that, we're all doing well. Bill Ray's also, his health is good. The girls are going to school. This is their first 6 weeks. They're doing good. Layla has competition tomorrow. However, we're going up to Houston tomorrow to Netta's team. So hoping to meet your friend, and I'm glad that she was able to come and visit you. We're glad that she was able to, and that you were happy with the visit, and hope that I come to see you before the holidays start. Other than that, we're all doing well, Mijo. Keep praying for you, and hopefully that all things go well and go your way. Keep your head up, and many blessings to you, and I love you, and many hugs. Here's your deal.
Yeah, Rick, I hope you're doing fine. Aquí estamos bien y estamos viendo el TV. So far, we're doing okay. You know, man, trying to take it one day at a time. Ahorita ando buscando a Frank Tortilla, a ver qué hable con él. I hope you're doing good y maybe we'll never get a chance, we'll go and visit you up there también. We're waiting for mañana, en la mañana para ir para Sweeney. Darle una vuelta, nene. Hope everything is good for you. Here's Rayland.
Hi, Beto. How are you doing? I'm praying for you as much as I can. Because God has only so many times to say prayers. But thankfully, you can listen to mine. So, yeah, no, I went to a football game yesterday. As always, we lose. But, you know, we still had a good time. I think that's the most important thing. You just have a good time even when things suck. But, anyways, you're my prayers. And, I'll see you later. Here's my dad.
Frank, trying to recover and get ready for the quinceañera at the same time. Went to go get fitted for a suit today. We had to kill time because the guy never got there, so I took her to the Desperado Harley Davidson, and she freaked out. Trying everything on. Thought she thought things were cheap, but she put on a leather jacket, and it was like $360 for a jacket. And we had fun. So anyway, I saw a picture of your friend that came to see you. Nice. So hopefully everything's going good with you, and I love you, buddy. Bye.
Bye, Mijo. Many hugs and kisses. Many blessings to everyone there. Thank you guys for your show.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Now we have Guadalupe from Mexico City. You're on the air.
Sí, buenas noches a todas las personas aquí del programa, especialmente para la señora Lisa, que hoy es su cumpleaños, y la de muchos años más. Saludos para mi hijo Jan Ramírez, saludos para él, deseándole que se encuentre bien. Le mandamos muchos besos y saludos, y que espero que su fin de semana sea muy agradable, ¿verdad? Dios me lo bendiga, me lo cuide. Que no se preocupe por nada, y nosotros estamos bien aquí, nada más fue el susto del terremoto y todo lo que anda. Y aquí le paso a Melissa, pero a ver, le va a pasar primero a Arabella, y salió así. Hola. Hola, querida. Hablando desde Valle, así que espero que la reciban pronto. Te queremos mucho. Que estés bien. Gracias, thank you.
Thank you. Julie from Florida, you are on the air.
All right, hey, thank you. My shout out is for Soul Man Reed. This is OG Professor Julie. Finally, I made it through. It's been a little while. I'm glad so many people were able to get through and shout out to their loved ones. So I love you. Sorry I've missed a couple of weeks, but that's how it goes. Hope you got my couple of JPays this week. I'm glad that you're having a fabulous visit. I'm so excited about that. So excited about the new stuff that I've learned. I think that's fantastic. All the stuff that Jeff is doing. Jeff sent him a big package this week with a bunch of more stuff that he didn't know about. So he has definitely, they've both been super busy. Everything's going pretty good here. Nothing new to tell. Work is in full swing. Jeremy's back on the mainland. Frank's home from the hospital. Him and Granny are super happy about that. Don't really have anything too new to tell. I really pretty much told you everything there was to tell you in the JPays. So, so glad about Aaron planning to come. Jeremy might end up there at the last minute because he's just kind of hanging around the Bay Area until his Jeep arrives. So, who knows? Might be a day you'll look up and there'll be Jeremy. So we'll see. Anyways, super excited for this trip that JP is going to take tomorrow. Anyways, it's all good. Again, I don't know too much else. I love you. I'll send you a JPay for Monday and try to send you quite a few this week prior to your event. So excited about it, anxious for you. Oh, and how funny that you've got all of those JPays from me the prior week. Freaking hilarious. But of course you get them from the OG. Anyways, I love you. Have a good weekend. And yes, don't worry. We're grown up. Alright. Anyways, I love you. Sweet dreams. And get some rest. You got a lot going on. You need to be in your best mindset. So anyways, I love you. Sweet dreams. Take care. Talk with you next Friday. Thanks everybody. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Alright, bye-bye.
Bye.
Brett from Australia, you're on the line.
G'day everybody, how you going? I'd like to say thanks to the Prison Show for the opportunity for me to be on here, and I think you guys are doing a great job. Just a quick shout out to my brother, Garcia at Lungsky Unit. Just want to let you know that the kangaroo mail has moved sent. It's on the way, mate. Well, I sent that yesterday to you. There may be a delay of a day or two because of a public holiday out here, but I can assure you there's a couple of pictures of Australia in there for you, mate, and it's on its way. Just to let you know, Jo got home safe, and she loved it very, very much. And she told me about what a great visit you guys had, and I'm really, really pleased. Just to let you know, myself and Jo, we followed our pages on Facebook, and we now have Sept and Joseph Garcia page. And we also have the We Stand and We Fight for Joseph Garcia Australia page. So there's a couple out, so we're putting awareness out there. To all the guys on the road, I'd like to send everybody, Joseph and everybody, my prayers, my love. And we're thinking of you out here. And just before I go, I'd like to send a message to Joseph to say, the hippos flying by, they send their hugs and kisses. So everybody have a great night. Thank you for the opportunity. I really enjoy the show and I appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys.
Good night, Brett.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Lydia from McAllen, you are on the air.
Yes, good night. How are you today?
We're doing good. How about you?
We're doing good here in the Rio Grande Valley. Finally got some rain.
Good. Good.
Needed rain. Hello, puppy. Calling to say we're doing good and that we received, I received 2 letters from you so far with the picture from the
there, she'll be driving over to Sweeney, and we're supposed to meet up in Houston with Jamila at about 1 or 1:30 and eat in Houston, and then drive down to West Columbia. It's not in Sweeney, but it's in West Columbia. So we're going to be there at the party, and we're going to sleep there and find a place there and stay there. And we're gonna head out Sunday. We're gonna head out to Sugarland, I think. Sunday. Said it was better to go to Sugarland and hang out Sunday, and then I'll drive back. Yeah, Janie's gonna drive up with me, and then I'll drive back with myself. I think she's driving back with you early to the valley. Okay? So we're gonna be fine, and I hope you're feeling better, puppy. I'm better. I'm feeling better. I'm not telling you that I'm feeling better. I do feel better. Okay? I'm drinking some moringa and turmeric and everything I can find. I'm feeling better. Apple cider vinegar, all kinds of stuff. I am feeling better. A lot of the inflammation has gone down. Okay? So don't worry about me. Take care of yourself. I received the pictures of you all today. Really nice. I really like them. Okay? And she has shared the pictures with me. Okay? I love you, Papa. So you take care of yourself, okay? And I'll see you towards the end of the month. Love you, puppy. Okay? And my saludos to the guys. You guys know who you are. You know that you're thought of, okay? And I thank you very much for the show.
Good night, Lydia.
Good night. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Charlie from Longview, you're on the air.
Hi, how are y'all doing?
We're just fine. How are you doing? Oh, you're Shirley. This is Shirley.
Yeah. It's
Somebody,
Charlie.
they put Charlie up there on our screen.
I know they call me Charlie and everything else.
I recognized your voice.
I get called Squirrely sometimes. I want to come and give a shout out to Blaine and tell him how much I love him and sorry I missed him today. Didn't get to go today. But I'm pushing for next weekend, and hopefully I will. Karen wanted me to tell you she'd see you in a couple of weeks, and she can't get on shout out because she can't talk, but she's okay. She want me to let you know that, and to let you know that she did win the song game today. That's what she told me. But anyway, I was just letting you know that we all miss and love you, and we're all praying for you. And I'm working on getting up there next Friday, I hope. I wouldn't have worked today, but my check would have been low if I hadn't. So, but I put some money on your book, so just to let you know. I love and miss you. Hope everything's going well. And hopefully to see you Friday, okay? And thank y'all for being there for us. We all appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Rosemary from El Paso, you are on the air.
Oh, bless me to everybody. I just want to say hi and love you, mijo, to Mr. Wapo over there. I miss you, mijo. Yeah, that's my little Wapo over there.
That's a good one, Rosemary.
Thank you. Oh, is this Danielle?
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, big hug to my Wapo over there. Okay, my Wapo, I just want to say, I want you to hear Tia Susie first real quick. Hey, mijo, how are you? I miss you, I love you. Take care of yourself, we're here for you, okay? Okay, don't think that nobody's thinking about you. Everybody misses you and asks for you, but I sent you a little postcard and I wrote a little song in there by Lauren Gale, and it goes got your letter. I just sent you a postcard back, okay? A real fast postcard just to let you know that I haven't forgotten you. I never will either, okay? Just be patient with me. I haven't gotten my hands operated yet, okay? So I'm still waiting on the doctor to squeeze me in there, okay? But I love you, mijo. We all love you over here. Now I'm going to Texas, okay, mijo? I miss you. I love you. And hope to see you soon, okay? Ándale pues, mijo. Good night. Que los ángeles lo guarden y campen alrededor de todos ustedes, okay? Ándale pues. I love you, mijo. Bye-bye. Wow. Thank you, guys.
All
Thank
right.
you, Rosemary.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Leslie from England, you're on the air.
Thank you very much. Hi guys. Hi there. This is a shout out for John Ramirez on Columbus Unit. Hi John. I hope that you're well. I got your letter and I know that you're a bit down at the minute, so just want to call up and give you some big love. I hope that you can hear me okay because I know that your speaker's not very good in your new cell. So yeah, I really hope that you can hear me okay. Just to let you know how we're doing here, everything's fine. I was a bit sick last week, just a bit of a cold and stuff, but I'm over that now. I've been going to the gym a lot, trying to get a bit fitter, and I'm going to go running on Sunday, which is, yeah, a new thing for me. I haven't done that for a long time, so we'll see how that goes. Everything's fine here. The dogs had a fight, unfortunately. The boys went in the garden in the week. It wasn't too bad, but Ted cut the end of his ear. So every time he slapped his ears, it's sort of bleeding and spraying blood everywhere. So we had to take him to the vet and get his head bandaged. He just looks ridiculous. He looks like a worm because they've had to tape his ears to his head. And obviously he's a lurcher, so he's got a long skinny head. He just looks absolutely funny. I'll send you a picture of him. He's got one ear sticking out and one ear taped to his head, so he just looks absolutely crazy. This weekend we've got Annie, Andy and Poppy coming over for tea. Of course, Mike's going to make a curry. You know how he loves to make a curry. I think that you think that that's all we eat in our household, because whenever we get people coming over, that's what we make. So I expect you'll be laughing about that. We've got Mike's sister coming up for the weekend, Karen. Kirsty, she's gone to Portugal this weekend with her mum. She's never really been on a week holiday like that before. She doesn't really go abroad, so yeah, that's a new thing for her, but that's nice. And her dad, you'll remember that her stepdad died last year, so her mum, she's gone to go on holiday with her mum so that she's got someone to go with. It's payday today, and I'm going to be sending you some more books. Now, I sent you a couple of books, the Girl in the Box ones, and I'm hoping that you've got those now. So let me know, okay? But I'll have a look at the other series that I've sent you, and I'll get some more out to you. I'll get that sorted out by the end of this weekend, okay? So yeah, keep your spirits up, buddy. Love you very much. Mike says hi. Kirsty asked me to say hello to you. Oh, Bob was asking after you as well, and he says hi. And I'll let everybody know how you're doing. So yeah, keep me updated. Let me know how you are. Hopefully you're feeling a bit better. You're very much loved. So take care and lots of love to you. And thanks very much, guys. Thanks to everyone in Texas, and thank you to everybody. Good night.
Good night. Okay, Nancy from Sulphur Springs, you are on the air.
Thank you so much. Hello, Daniel. This is Mama, and I love you with all my heart. And as always, I'm glad to be giving you this shout out. I was happy to get a letter from you Wednesday, and Sherry got a letter also Thursday. And last Wednesday, I sent you a brown 6 to 9 envelope with pictures of birthdays and some
Good night, Nancy.
You too, Nancy.
Carol from Waco, you're on the air.
Hi. I'd like to shout out to my baby daddy, Noe, at the Darrington unit. All right, here goes. Hey, baby daddy, it's me, Carol. You know, your baby mama. I wanted to let you know that I love you and I miss you more than I know, more than you know, or more than I show, maybe. I had a dream about you last night. It was, I don't remember much, but it was vivid, and I just know the way it made me feel. And it was like I saw you, and I knew somebody had said you were here, you were back. I don't know when it was, but I ended up going to where you were, and I grabbed you, and like we turned and looked at each other, and your face was, you know, shaved, and your glasses were different. And I wasn't for sure it was you, so I pulled down your right collar to look at your tattoo on your neck, and it was different. And when I looked up at you, you said, I got it covered up. And my heart just melted, and we hugged, and we kissed, and I just know I did not want to wake up from the dream. So, Noe, I love you and I miss you, and I just want you to know that. And I want to visit you soon, so get looking forward to that. My brother said he would take me, so I checked up on you a lot whenever, I know you don't know this, but I called every day to Darrington unit to find out what was going on with y'all's situation every day. Every single day for Tate the whole time. I was so worried about you. So I want you to know, I was looking after you even then. Your son wants to say something to you, and also I love you and good night. And here your son wants to say something.
Hi, I love you, and well, really, I don't know anything else to say, so good night.
Person. You don't know how to do that. Good night, Noah. I love you. We miss you. All right, you guys. Thanks for having me on the air. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Carol.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Peter from New York, you are on the air.
Good evening. Hi, thank you for the show. It's really great. I want to do a shout out to my friends at Zelensky and Chris and Obi and Eugene, and a special birthday shout out to Will. And happy birthday, and we're thinking of you and we love you. And John wants to say happy birthday. Here she is, John.
Happy birthday, Will. Thanks for all the cards and notes. I so wish I could meet you in person, and hopefully I will soon. Happy birthday, Will.
And so we're thinking of all of you, and I'm sorry to hear that you're still on lockdown there, but hope that's over soon. I want you all to have a great night. I drove my car today. I finally got the car put back together, and it's running, and I want to thank you all for your patience with me, and that I've been preoccupied with that. And I hope I'll be seeing you late October or November sometime. Hang in there. And Linda, happy birthday to you too.
Thank you, Peter.
And I have to give you a call, Linda. So I'll speak to you this week. And again, thanks for the show. It's really terrific. Love it. Good night.
Good night, Peter.
Good night, Peter. Okay. Let's see. Sandy from Texarkana, you are on the air.
Thank you. This is for Jedediah Murphy at the Pulaski unit. Hi, sweetheart.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good weekend.
Maria from Dallas, you're on the air.
Hi, I'd like to send a shout out to Michael. I love you and I miss you. I received your letter, number 0. I did not send you a steak pay for tonight, only Monday, okay? Not tonight. And I talked to your sis, so everything's good. Everyone's doing good. I sent you some money last week. Don't worry. Keep your head up. Keep praying. Your Bible, on your Bible lesson. Don't give up on me. I'm here for you. And I will see you soon. I'll send you a check pay on Monday. I love you and have a good night and a good week. And take care. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good night.
You too, Maria.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Maria in New York, you are on the air.
Good evening and happy birthday, Linda.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for spending it with all of us.
Oh, thank you.
So this is an aloha ke akua and namaste to Bobby. Here we are in the happy place. And I'm all smiles actually. Your weirdly private friend here. And it's just so special to get to talk to you today as you are, concluding your dance practices. And I was today thinking about this, like how the more you quieten your mind, the more the song, like your inner song will play. So I hope you enjoyed the exploration of your song. And today also actually happens to be the last night of Navratri. So Navratri is this Indian festival that lasts for 9 nights, and it's a practice where you become aware of your negativities and then you move to overcome them. So what a good timing. And there's a surprise for you. I'm not alone on this phone line. Hello, Obi. It's Rupal. Super excited because I get to come to see you tomorrow and bringing extra greetings in urban Michigan, Southeast and where cheering for you and grateful to be in practice alongside. So I'm not in Texas yet, but Google and I aligned ourselves to get to talk to you simultaneously. And also another surprise is that this week there was this beautiful story about the medicine that you and Brother Masters have been bringing into the world. So look out for some mail. I'll send you some special stuff. And Upa, you want to go for the Sahanawa or two? So Obi, this is for you and this is for everyone who's listening for a peaceful evening and all the best. So, good night, and you guys have a great visit tomorrow. Lots of love. Love you. Good night to everyone.
Good night, Maria.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Now we have Mike Lewis.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike Lewis, Mysterious Mike from the Historic Prison Show. I'd like to do some shout-outs here. I'd like to do shout-outs to the guys in Texas, Guy Alexander, Jamie Cuffett, Dennis Hope, Stephen Russell, Philip in Dallas, K Money here in Houston, Bill Perez here in Houston, Carl Riviera. I'd like to do a shout-out to Alex Molina, Telford Unit, Tosh, like to do
Okay, Donna, you're on the air from New Jersey. Hey.
Happy birthday, Miss Linda.
Well, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Me too. Kept that a secret because I didn't notice the notification on Facebook. I see that.
No.
So hey, Talon, it's me. Hopefully you can hear me. I got your letter today. So that was from the 21st. So hopefully the radio situation has been resolved by now, and I'm just going to proceed as if it has. But I really don't have too much to tell you because I sent you a bunch of state days, and I sent you a big envelope and a small envelope just in the last couple of days, so you'll get those next week. Anything else has to wait until I'm there so that we can talk in person. But everything is good, and I love you, and I miss you. And I updated your daughter and all of the appropriate people on the news that kept me up all night. I did not sleep. I was just laying in bed, like my brain would stop. I was like buzzing. Energy was just everywhere. So send me some calming vibrations because I'm super, super amped up right now. My hands won't stop. My legs keep bouncing. It's a lot of energy. It's a bit too much for me to handle. So yeah, I'm just very happy, very excited. And of course, I'm not surprised, but it's time for phase 2. So we will discuss that on Tuesday. And in the meantime, you have a beautiful weekend, and I hope the time goes by real fast. I know you guys are on lockdown and all that. So I hope you have everything that you need. And I will see you in a couple of days. All right? Good night. Bye, y'all.
Bye, Donna.
Bye, Donna. Summer from Missouri, you are on the air.
Hi, y'all. Just wanted to give a shout out to my loving fiance, Chad, who's in Gulfport. Baby, I love you. I miss you. I sent you a letter out yesterday, and I am so sorry for making you worry. But I promise that letter is going to be well worth it once you get it. There are pictures of me and Katie in there. And there's some very amazing news that you have been wanting to hear for a very long time in regards to my abusive ex. I know your mom and your family also love and miss you, and I hope to get to see you soon, at least your mom, hopefully. And I just want to say, baby, even though it's going to be a couple years until I get to see you in person, I'm your girl for life. I'm your wife for life. I'm not going nowhere, and I love you with all my heart and my soul. And I want to thank you guys for doing this and doing everything you guys can for every inmate possible. Thank you all so much. Dad, baby, I love you. You have a great night, and I'm thinking about you always and forever. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, Summer.
Now we have Di. She wants to do some shout outs.
Hi, this is Di. I hope this finds you all doing well and feeling fine. I have a few shout outs tonight. First to Gabriel at Pulaski. I'll see you again on Monday. I have a shout out for Virginia at Pulaski. I'll also see you on Monday. I have a shout out for Big Will at Pulaski. It was so nice seeing you this Will. Happy birthday. I will see you again soon. I also have a shout out for Stephen Sandlin at Darrington. I got your letter today and we'll have one back to you soon. And I've got a shout out for Abel Ochoa at Pulaski. I got your letter. Thank you for the poem. As always, peace and love to all who hear this as well as those who don't.
Okay. Lisa, you're on the air from
Brookline.
Brookline.
Brooklyn, Texas.
Oh, Brooklyn. Okay, sorry about that.
Thank y'all for doing this. I just wanted to tell my husband, Mercy over at Estelle High Security, that I love him more than life and like Jesus does. And I hope he enjoys his visit tomorrow with his daughter. And I'll be seeing him next weekend. That's all I need to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Lisa.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Sherry from Texas, you are on the air.
Hello, this is for my baby son, Jeff. Hope you're doing good. And I'm calling to tell you that
me to call tonight, so couldn't let it pass by. I didn't get to you in time before lockdown to send you money, but when you get out, I'll promise to have you something there so you can maybe catch up a little bit. I talked to Laura about some of your artwork and everything, and she says it's having that a lot of the mothers up there at the daycare would really love to have portraits and things of their children for Mother's Day maybe even, and that would give some time to get everything together. And she seemed really interested maybe in helping to do some of that. Rashay is home. She's back to herself. That's all I can say about her. But anyway, Laura and I have been talking about trying to make a road trip one day, maybe not too long from now. You'll just have a fit when you get to see Cameron. He's already trying to play football, and you won't believe him. But anyway, we're thinking about you. I'm very proud of what you're doing, very proud of all your accomplishments. Glad that you have better living conditions now, and hope all goes well. Keep up your hope. Glad you're doing good, and I love you big as the sky, and I'll send you a day pay letter real soon. Good night. Have sweet dreams, baby.
Good night, Sherry.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bella from North Carolina, you're on the air.
Thank you. Hey, Jedediah. Hey, baby, I love you. And I just woke up, and I wanted to call in so you could hear my voice. Actually, I wish I could hear yours, but I don't know anything I can do about that. So just know that I miss you, and I'll see you soon. I love you, Jedediah. Night, night, and sweet dreams. Thank you, ma'am.
Good night, Bella.
Good night, Bella. Cookie from San Antonio, you are on the air.
Hi, I'm saying hello to my brother Darren at the Columbus unit. We're so glad we got to take the drive out and see you this Sunday. And we're also happy that you got a new cell situation. And we're hoping that you stay positive and keep helping other people and do your time safely. We love you and we miss you. And Mom wants to say hi to you. Well, hi, Maggie. Say. I love you. And also the dogs miss you. We're all doing okay, but you did okay. And Cody and all, let's say bye. Here they are. Thanks, everybody, and thanks y'all for being with us. We miss you, DJ.
Thank you, Cookie.
Okay, guys, I'm going to do my shout-outs now. We've got all the lines cleared up. Want to say a special shout-out to Will Spear. Happy birthday, Will. I'll be seeing you next week, so we'll celebrate together. John Ramirez, Irving Davis, Robert Frada, Jaime Cole, John Rubio, Danny Bible, Eugene Broxton, Billy Wardlow, Fabian Hernandez, Michael Gonzalez, Abel Ochoa, Patrick Murphy, Daniel Acker, Tony Medina, Federico Valdez, Milton Gobert, Carlos Trevino, Ronald Powell, Dennis Hope, Stephen Russell, Fernando Patino, Greg Gomez, Jason Hernandez, Benito, Derek Gales, Rubio, Carlos Bouchette, Chucky, Wendy Ann Sanders, Vincent Baker, and Jesse Hill. Vincent and Jesse, I want to thank you so much for my little wallet. I love it very much. I carry it every day with me. Kenneth Keeble, Joe Escobedo, Terry Milligan, Rosendo Rodriguez, Beretta, Douglas Armstrong, Michael Winfrey, Antonio Mathis, Rasheen Robinson wants to shout out to Glenn A.T.L. Gordon, Lawrence Owen Akins, Nunu, Cody Easter, Wayne Jackson, Lionel Atkins, Carlos Kidd, John Hummel, Blaine Milam, Elijah Jobert, Anthony Shore, Larry Swearinger, and Perry Williams. I've got some for the Ramsey unit, Alva McGrath, Tandy Wilkerson, and Harvey Fortune. Wallace Pack 1, John Millette wants to shout out to all IWW members in Pack 1. James Swarthart, Ray Ray, Christopher Dye, Jeff Andrizak, Jason Williams, and MG. Javier Mayorga, Jimmy Carrington, Adam Wilkerson, Stephen Duke, Jeffrey Wallace, and Robert Shepard. And I want to say hello to Robert Shepard's brother at the Eastham unit. Hobby unit, Angel Stolas, Salvador Urati, and Samuel Solomon at the Stringfellow. Jester 3, Albert Davis and Chris Wright. Hightower unit, Arthur Murphy. The Win unit, my little brother Guy Alexander. Rooster, JC, Dirty, JR, Zigzag, Cowboy, Woody, Woo Woo, J-Doug, John Boy, Sean, Roadrunner, Wes, Truck Driver, Randy, and Jesse. And then Colton, a.k.a. Cowboy. Hope you're doing great. I guess your wife will be seeing you tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not sure which day. Frederick Washington and Bill Sims. The Wall units, David Barber. Thank you very much. Good night, guys.
And I have a few that I wanted to say real quick.
Help yourself.
Want to say again, happy birthday to Linda.
Thank you.
And Micah over at the Polonsky unit. Thank you, got your letter. Rick Rhodes got your card. Travis Mullis, I did get the information. Dennis Hope got your shout out from Linda. Thank you very much. And Perry Williams, forgot to mention you last week. Forgot to tell you happy birthday, so I wanted to say that real quick. And Billy Wardlow, see you tomorrow night.
Sounds like a date.
Sort of.
Sort of. It's a visit.
Yeah. I told Larry Swearingen to put me on the visiting list. I'd ride down and visit him.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll take you.
You'll take me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they'd give me an opportunity to ride my bike, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then you could take us.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to ride a bike.
That'd be fun. Now, I hadn't seen Larry. We were at Montgomery County together. So I was down on D Block. I was a bad boy back then.
Larry's a cool guy. He's really cool.
Yeah, they had me down with the bad guys. I had a pretty good brawl over on the population side. And because I had the robbery charges or whatever, they stuck me over on D Block.
D Block was the bad boy section?
That's the bad boy section, yeah. But I liked it over there better. And it's better to hang out with the bad boys than it is to get over there with population and have to be good. Oh, isn't that right, Jack?
Yeah, boy.
Over on the bad boy section,
we know
people
that
don't
one.
mess with you. All you got to do is look at them and they know, I don't want to go there. Now, you know, guys, we're almost out of time, but I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank you ladies for doing a wonderful job. Thank you, Miss Linda, for sharing your birthday with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
It means a lot for you to come up in here like that. And,
I'm ready to go eat now.
yeah. Let's go out and go to Midtown. Is that where you want to go?
That's fine with me.
Yeah, guys, we're going to go eat, and we'll think about you. We'll come see you. We'll write you. You guys keep tuning in. Thank Jack for doing the camera tonight. I know his hand's about to fall off, but we appreciate him. He'll learn better, and we'll get some
we'll get it right.
tripod or something. And y'all stay tuned for Cultural Baggage with Dean Becker. Thanks, Mike, for taking care of the board. Why don't you go ahead and give him an extra 10 seconds.
It was a good show.
Bobby is going to come in and start things so we can get up out of here.
So is Bob coming in here?
Later on in the evening, we're going to leave. Bobby, you know along here, Bobby?
Yeah.
Bobby's going to come in and start things so we can get the hell out of here.
Okay, that's good.
I can go to the restroom though, right?
Yeah. It's not a big
No, we
rush.
don't allow you to go to the
It's just that we didn't want Bob in, and I told him about the phone calls and all that stuff.